Let's be brutally honest. Most of us didn't start life with rich parents handing us trust funds. We didn't get brand new cars for our 16th birthdays or graduate college debt-free. Nah. For most of us, our financial journey started at rock bottom, maybe even in the negative. Student loans, a credit card balance, barely enough to cover rent. And yet, there's still this dream inside us of someday being wealthy. Having money stacked up so we never stress about bills again. Being able to travel where we want, when we want. To buy our parents something nice, to secure our kids' future, or just chill on a beach without checking the price of the cocktails. The truth is, building wealth is absolutely possible, even if you're starting from nothing, even if you're in debt right now. But it requires flipping your mindset, playing a long game, and making choices your friends probably won't understand. So let's break it down. We're counting down from 10 to 1, going through the exact blueprint to build wealth from scratch in your 20s and 30s. 10. Live way below your means. Here's the thing. Most people mess up right here. They get a job making $3,000 a month and immediately start living like they make $3,000 a month. New phone, fancy apartment, eating out constantly. Or worse, they live like they make $4,000 a month thanks to credit cards. Then they're stuck in a cycle where every dollar is spoken for and building wealth becomes impossible. If you want to actually get ahead, you've got to live like you make way less than you do. If you bring in $3,000, live like you make $2,000. That extra $1,000? That's your ticket out. Most people will look at you weird when you drive a used car for 10 years or skip the new iPhone for a few upgrades. They won't get why you live in a modest apartment or why you still pack lunch instead of Uber Eats every day. But you know why. You're stacking money while they're stacking payments. Imagine if you did this for just 10 years, lived below your means, saved or invested $1,000 a month. That alone could put you well over $150,000 to $200,000 with average returns by your mid-30s. That's a down payment on a rental property, a cushion that lets you quit a toxic job, or just, peace of mind. 9. Increase your income. A lot of people focus so hard on cutting costs, skipping lattes, canceling subscriptions, which is good, but only up to a point, because you can only cut so much. But there's no ceiling on how much you can earn. Your income is the biggest wealth-building lever you have. If you're working a job, ask yourself, how can I become more valuable so I can demand a higher salary? Can you learn new software, get certifications, become the go-to person for a skill at your company? Employers pay for solutions. The more problems you solve, the more money you make. Then there's side hustles. In 2025, there's zero excuse to not have extra income streams. You could freelance online, writing, designing, managing social media, editing videos, or do something local like tutoring, photography, flipping items from thrift stores. Even spending your evenings building a small online brand on TikTok or YouTube could eventually pay. Think of your nights and weekends as investment hours. You're building skills and cash flow that most people waste on Netflix. Let's say you start a side gig that nets you an extra $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. Invested with modest returns over 10 years, that's another $80,000 plus stacked from just a side hustle. 8. Pay off bad debt like your life depends on it. Because honestly, your financial life does. High-interest debt is a wealth killer. If you're paying 20% interest on a credit card, it's like swimming upstream with a brick tied to your leg. Let's break it down. So, let's say you have $5,000 in credit card debt at 20% interest. If you only make minimum payments, you could honestly be paying on that for over a decade and end up shelling out thousands in interest. That's money that could have been growing for you instead of the bank. Use the avalanche method. Pay minimums on all debts and funnel everything extra toward the debt with the highest interest. Or, try the snowball if you need quick wins. Pay off the smallest balance first to build momentum, whichever method keeps you moving. And once it's gone, never carry a credit card balance again. Use them for rewards, sure, but pay them off every single month. 7. Build an emergency fund. You don't get rich by avoiding emergencies. They're gonna happen. Your car's gonna break down. You might get laid off. A medical bill might drop out of nowhere. If you don't have an emergency fund, all that goes on a credit card, and boom, you're back in debt. So, you want to aim for at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses, right? And you should keep it somewhere safe, like a high-yield savings account. Not your stock portfolio, not crypto. You want it stable and accessible. Having this safety net means you won't panic when life hits you with surprise expenses, and you can stay focused on your bigger wealth-building goals. Number 6. Start investing early and automate it. Seriously, this is the secret sauce. The earlier you start, the less you actually have to invest to get rich later, because, compound interest does the heavy lifting. Okay, so imagine two people. Sarah starts investing at 25, putting in $500 a month, and stops at 35. That's just 10 years. She invested $60,000. Now, her friend Mike waits until he's 35 to start, but then invests the same $500 a month until he's 65. That's 30 years. A total of $180,000 invested. Want to guess who ends up with more? It's Sarah, because her money had more years to grow. That's the magic. So, even if it's just $100 a month to start, automate it. Put it in index funds, ETFs, something simple with low fees. Set it up to pull from your bank right after payday so you never miss it. Over time, you'll build serious wealth without even feeling it. 5. Buy assets, not toys. Most people spend their 20s buying liabilities, things that lose value. New cars, expensive clothes, the latest gadgets. All of it worth half as much in a few years. Instead, focus on assets. Things that appreciate in value or put cash in your pocket. Stocks, real estate, maybe even a small business. Buy a used car you can drive for 10 years. Get a modest house you can afford. Maybe even house hack by renting out a room. So, it's really about playing the long-term game. Your friends? Yeah, they might clown you right now for driving that old Toyota or for not buying that flashy watch. But, in 10 years, when you have multiple income properties or a fat brokerage account, they're going to be asking how you did it. Number 4. Keep learning. Your brain is honestly your ultimate money machine. The more you learn, the more you can earn. Read books on money, on business, on mindset. Watch videos that teach you about taxes, investing, and how businesses really work. If you learn a high-value skill like copywriting, sales, or coding, you could instantly add thousands to your annual income. Knowledge pays off forever. So spend less time being entertained and more time getting educated. Protect what you're building. Once you start stacking money, you really need to protect it. Get insurance, health, renters, or homeowners, even disability if people rely on your income. One accident shouldn't destroy years of smart work. Also, protect your money from scams. Don't invest in stuff you don't understand just because a TikTok bro promised 50 times returns. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Wealth is built slow and steady, not overnight. Surround yourself with winners. If your closest friends are always broke and spending every weekend dropping $300 at clubs, that's gonna rub off. But if your circle talks about investments, side hustles, real estate, they'll pull you up. So, hey, find groups online. Join Discords, Reddit threads, Facebook groups, and, follow people on YouTube or podcasts who are building wealth. Over time, you'll start seeing the world like they do. Be patient. Trust the process. Honestly, this is the hardest rule. Because building wealth from zero isn't sexy. It's boring. It's automated deposits, driving the same car for years, saying not yet to that luxury vacation. But give it a decade. Just 10 years of focused effort, and you could be in a position most people never reach their whole lives. Financial freedom isn't winning the lottery. It's slow, steady compounding that gets unstoppable over time. So, look at where you're at right now. What's one thing you can do today? Open an investment account, start that side hustle, pay $50 extra on your credit card, call your internet provider and cut your bill by $30. Do it, because your future self is watching. 10 years from now, they're either gonna thank you or wish you'd started today. If this fired you up, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs a wake-up call, and subscribe because I'm dropping more videos to help you build a life of freedom. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one.